Hello and welcome to my unboxing and review of the Legiones Astartes Mars Pattern Plasma Cannons set for Warhammer The Horus Heresy from Forge World. They're right here in this pack and they will cost you £16.50. It's the same price as the Las Cannon set. Later on in the second half of the video, I will of course be showing you them on some Space Marines and going through the rules of plasma cannons. Again, I answered the question in the Las Cannon unboxing and review, you know, super why on earth did you get some resin plasma cannons, which are almost the same price as the plastic heavy weapon set, and I'll answer that question again. I'm very dubious of whether these will work properly and that they'll have a nice fit to the Mark 6s, because judging by the plastic special weapons set, each individual special weapon only corresponds to a set of arms, and that's because the left hand and right hand are both modelled onto the weapon, unlike Mark 4s and Mark 3s where you get separate arms and then you glue the weapon onto both of those arms and hands, should I say. And another reason is because I just like the look of underslung heavy weapons. I think, you know, ever since I saw sort of heavy bolters being underslung, I much prefer it more than over the head kind of pose. So you're getting these cablings. This is ubiquitous to plasma cabling. If you've seen any plasma cabling before, even on the old Space Marine metal kits, it looks, you know, the same but just way more detail. It's fantastic. You've even got I want to say zip ties, but you know, you've got the cable management is just gorgeous really, but you've got these tighteners as well that that couple the main feed with the auxiliary, I would say. But what you're going to have to do with these is they are quite stiff, so you will need to have to bend them to fit them from the power plant or the ammunition pack to the heavy weapon itself. And my best advice is to use a hairdryer and for like 5 to 10 seconds, and so that you can then manipulate them into place. So there are your 5 cable bundlings. You've got the ammunition packs or power plant ammunition packs here. You've even got some venting, of course, which you did get on the last cannons too. And I think these must be part of the ammunition in the canisters and things. But so that's those. And then you've got the 5 plasma cannons themselves. I'm not a massive fan of the way these look for Mars. I probably would have preferred riser pattern versions. I'd like to see the Tellerac version, but these Mars patterns are very similar to the plasma guns as well, in that they have like a nozzle at the front, or they have a large barrel at the front, and that's pretty much it. Sometimes they have a secondary one or a guider, whereas other forms, which I think includes the riser, have a much more kind of balanced front tip, it looks at least. But yeah, these just look like bigger versions of the current Mars pattern plasma guns that you'll find in, well, the Mark 6 set as well. Well, the Mark 6 set. But on the plus side, these look very similar to like the plasma incinerators, burners of the Dark Angels. It's one of the reasons why I got them, because you can then just proxy one of these as your plasma burner, I think. There's plenty of detail on the back too. And you know, I just like the look of underslung heavy weapons. I think they look really awesome, especially plasma cannons. That is the first part of this review. There'll be a second part coming up where I will review them on some Space Marines, and I will show you what they look like on some models and the poses that I've gone for. And here we are with all of the Mars pattern plasma cannon set complete, fully built. As I say, you get 5 of these. They look pretty cool. I do like the underslung kind of look of these plasma cannons. I have matched them up with Dark Angel's left shoulder pauldrons and helmets as well, that go very, very well with the Mark III. Let's have a little look at these up close. So we've got this Space Marine sort of walking forwards. I have every faith that these weapon upgrades will be compatible with the new armour, whether it's a revised rescaling of Mark III or whether it's Mark II. I think they'll go quite well. I'm not sure whether these would go with Mark VI's. I haven't tried it. You know, they have their own plastic upgrade set for the heavy weapons, which includes plasma cannons, more over the shoulder though, instead of underslung. But yeah, that's that Space Marine. This one kind of got a bracing pose, firing it off, similar to this one. This one's kind of walking forward, similar to the first pose really. And then this one has also got another sort of bracing pose. So there's all the plasma cannons. Let's just do a couple of size comparisons, because there won't really be any spare parts. I've used all of them. I say that probably the trickiest part is getting the cabling to kind of glue on both ends. You've really got to pick a point of contact first. I think I picked the actual power plant, the plasma ammunition power plant thing first, and I super glued it there. Then I used the hairdryer to heat and manipulate the rest of the cabling to then get a nice snug fit. Once you manipulate it with the heat, because you know, once you get them, the cables are straight, and it's the same for the las cannons as well. Then you can manipulate them into place with heat, and shouldn't be any issues. Let me just show you some comparisons then with say the las cannon. So this is one of the las cannon versions. I think I reviewed this yesterday. So it's the same story with the las cannon tubing. I'll probably say that the las cannon cabling is more tricky, it's longer. I'm surprised that they don't sort of trip over these. I get it, you know, the heavy support, and they need the ammunition, you know, slotted into the power plant more so than like the Moritat with the, you know, plasmas, or the Volkite Serpentas, you know, being attached to the power plant. I get that, because you'd run out of ammo pretty quickly if you're just armed with dual pistols, and in like a battlefield setting, not ideal. But yeah, with these ones, I think I ran out of Dark Angel shoulder pauldrons, so I just used resin Mark III ones, I think. But yeah, you can see that it's similar sort of story with the underslung weapons. They're all like this. I'd like to get the Volkite at some point. Just a couple of comparisons with the plastic sort of variants. Now, this is an Emperor's Children Space Marine. I know it's great that we're seeing all these different Space Marines and things on the channel. 6 Legions coming soon, after we kind of cover all of Leviathan, that is. But just to give you an idea, compared to Mark VI, we've got an underslung Volkite weapon there, Volkite Culverin I think it is, quite beefy. I don't much like the Volkite in plastic. I prefer the resin version, which we will be getting for, I think I'll be getting them for the Dark Angels at some point. But just gives you an idea of underslung weaponry that's available in plastic compared to resin. And then also another comparison is just with an overslung las cannon, again for Emperor's Children. Probably a bit of a waste of an Emperor's Children's head there, specific head, because you can't really see it. It might have been better to use it on you know, the underslung weapons, but still I wanted an Emperor's Children las cannon unit in Mark VI, so there we go, that's what we've got. So yeah, just gives you an idea there of the differences. And now some other kind of Dark Angel specific comparisons. I've got an Interemptor here, you know, carrying sort of a heavy incinerator, plasma incinerator I think it is. Very, very cool looking, and works very well. If anything, I'd say that the resin Dark Angels and Interemptors are a little bit taller than the plastic counterparts, but they did come out, you know, after. But yeah, it just gives you an idea. I guess you could proxy these plasma cannon ones or plasma gun ones as Interemptors. You're just missing out on all that extra detail, the grenades, the blade, the, you know, cool looking, obviously the Mark III power plants, and the unique kind of gas mask type helmets that they've got, and this, you know, Interemptor specific shoulder pauldron. But yeah, you could mix and match and have them all as Interemptors if you really wished. Got a Dark Angels Contemptor Dreadnought, just walking about with a plasma cannon, and then we've got the you know, Dark Angels Leviathan Dreadnought there. You could go full plasma still. I know there's no plasma weapon for the older Leviathan there, but you could go full plasma with a Doredio Dreadnought with those big plasma cannon arrays, plasma incinerator arrays, or you could go for kind of like a, if you didn't want to go mech side, you could go for a plasma incinerator equipped Predator to give that full plasma vibe. A few other little comparisons I like to make just with the normal 40k Space Marines and Sly Marbo. So if I just show you, normal Space Marine is very similar size, probably a little bit smaller than these Mark IIIs, of course. Yeah, Primaris are way taller. And then you've got Sly Marbo, who is probably chest gorget height. So there you go, I thought those size comparisons would help. Let's get into the rules. Okay, so there will be a review of the Interemptors coming soon, of course, along with the rest of the Dark Angels units. But in the meantime, let's just focus on this heavy support squad. We will go through the full rules and also the rules for the plasma weapons. So Legion Heavy Support Squad is 100 points. They are in the heavy support section, of course. Their movement of 7 inches, weapon skill, ballistic skill, strength, toughness are all 4. 1 wound, initiative 4, 1 attack, leadership 7, save of 3+. The sergeant is the same but has 2 attacks and a leadership of 8. Consists of 4 legionaries and 1 support sergeant. They're equipped with heavy bolters, bolt pistol, frag grenades, crack grenades, power armor. They have the special rules. Legiones Astartes, and you may take a Rhino as a dedicated transport. Doesn't take up an additional force organisation slot, but you need to still pay for its points cost. You can take an additional 5 legionaries at 15 points each, so for 160 points you know, you're getting a full unit of 10 there, which is very decent. 1 legionary may take a Vexilla for 10 points, an augury scanner for 10, a Nuncio Vox for 10, and then all models in the unit may exchange their heavy bolter for one of the following, and they all must have the same option. This is very important. You can't mix and match like you can in Devastator squads. So the heavy flamers are free, autocannons are 5 points, missile launchers are 5 points, multi-melters are 10, plasma cannons are 10, Volkite culverins are 5, and las cannons are 10. And the sergeant may exchange power armor for artificer armor, just gives them a 2+ save. So as you can see, I've gone for the expensive version. You know, multi-melters, plasma and las cannons are all an extra 10 points each, which means that this unit alone is just 150 points, and that's not including a Nuncio Vox, which is a must. The plasma cannons then, they work as usual. They are 36-inch range, strength 7, AP 4, heavy 1, blast 3 inches, breaching 4+, and gets hot. So with the gets hot, of course, we all know if you roll a 1, then the firing model gets a wound. So there is a bit of a risk there, but you do get an armor save, but it's with this equal AP value. So in a way, that's quite cool because the AP is 4. So you're still getting your save. Plasma cannons do have breaching 4+, and what that means is when you roll to wound equal to or higher than the value in the listed brackets, then you resolve the wounds at AP2. It has no effect on vehicles though. So that means that they're going to be hitting on 3s, on 4+s, you're going to be resolving it at AP2. You know, you're pumping out 5 3-inch blast markers, which is very, very horrific, especially if you know, 50-50 chance of getting that AP2 on any wounds as well. So you can even target, you know, Terminators with this to get that AP2. And they're at a safer, and they're at quite a safe enough range of 36 inches. They're going to be vulnerable, of course, to las cannons and other heavy support units, as well as like anti-tank tanks and weapons that have longer range than 36 inches, really, as well as assaults. They're not going to fare very well if you get flanked, or a dedicated assault squad is going to get in close range of them. But if you get assaulted being a heavy support unit, then something's gone terribly wrong. What do you think of the Horus Heresy Mars Pattern Plasma Cannon set? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be great to hear from you. Thank you for joining me today. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.